And welcome back to another episode of the Dragon Heads podcast. I'm your master of ceremonies, Thorn Rain, and with me, my co-host, Dragon Joe and Dungeon Kyle. But you're not seeing our faces; you're seeing a map. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing
Not too
great.
bad. Not too bad. It's been a Monday. I'll give you that. But tomorrow's my birthday. New World comes out. I've got the day off, and I'm gonna be a degenerate and spend all day playing New World. So,
Sounds like fun.
it's gonna be
Bro,
an
you
amazing
and
day.
me both. I have the day off tomorrow too, and I was planning to do the same thing.
Like, cannot wait. But tonight we're playing something way different than anything that I've ever played before. So, Joe, I'm gonna kick it over to you. I'm gonna let you explain this game that we're getting into.
So what this game is it's called the Quiet Year. Um, I'm sure Thorn's going to have everything linked to their site and everything. I discovered this game because I was looking through D&D podcasts and I was looking for something new to listen to while we're waiting on the announcement from Critical Role, which should be Thursday. Hopefully it's Thursday. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully something comes.
Yeah. Anyway, so I came across the Adventure Zone, and they have within the last couple months uh, they have just started a new campaign. And what they did is they used this game called the Quiet Year, and they used this game to world build for their new campaign. And I was absolutely the whole idea behind it was is four of them sat down together and the DM gave them a general consensus of, hey, this is what's happening in the world. And this is the main motivation for your colony, civilization, whatever your town, village, whatever you want to call it exactly. And
So you're telling me you found a game to take one of the most boring and long, arduous processes of a campaign building and make a game out of it and fun and incorporate everybody?
yes, the short of it, yes. And
This is great.
the Quiet Year basically has a bunch of prompts. And the map you guys are seeing in front of us, we already did the what's called the like first stage. And basically, since there's three of us, we each picked two different topographical features. The first thing that I put on there was a bay from the ocean into this land. And the setup that I had done for our group is that the kingdom, and a lot of these terms are going to be purposely very vague because then we can work them and make them malleable.
We can
But the
use it for
king,
world building.
right? You're using it so you're not boxing people into a certain uh, aesthetic or a certain whatever. But the premise that I made for this setup was there was a this huge line of fog, magical fog that people would either sail into and never be seen from again, or they would sail in and they would sail out the same way they came in. It always turned them around somehow, and it was discovered that this wall of fog had suddenly just disappeared, and this prompted a couple people to start exploring that way, and they found a landmass. They don't know how big it is. They don't know. They know nothing about it.
You know what I just thought of? For all my World of Warcraft fans out there, this is Mr. Pandaria.
Um, and I was gonna jump in and say this is basically the start of New World.
Yeah,
Wow, how
It,
appropriate.
it really is.
It really is. Like, I didn't take much up on that storyline, but I do know a little bit, and you are correct.
but the idea is that the king of vague kingdom has set forth an expedition, and I wanted to put this up to you because I just said set forth an expedition. I don't know. Are they trying to colonize? Are they trying to explore? Are they conquerors? Are they settlers? Like, we haven't really fleshed all that out yet. But
Once
they're coming
again,
here
that would depend on the campaign setting, would it not?
again. We're figuring all that out, and that's what this whole game does.
Okay.
And to start everything off, each of us picked 2 topographical features. I picked the bay in which they land in, and the swamp to the south that is down here. Kyle, he picked the
Point good.
plateau with a lake in the middle of it, and the Badlands that are down over in this area. And Brock, or Thorn, picked now that you were a little vague with it. You said like a tri-volcano. Is it like
3 separate volcanoes make it like laid out in a triangle shape, with a lake of lava in the center of the 3 volcanoes. So like the volcanoes are basically just feeding this lake of lava that has a lone island in the center of it, right there in the middle.
Nice. So, what's next, Joe? We have our basic setup.
so that's the volcanoes, and then he said to the north and around the plateau that he put a lush jungle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And part of our the river kind of came from, well, this lake has to filter somewhere, so we ultimately decided that there was some sort of river and waterfall coming from the lake down to the bay. That was one of those natural things that we kind of figured out as we went. And other than that, like, the rest of this map is completely open. It's going to be designed as we play this game. And just to kind of help you guys with the playing of it, the way the turns work is you start off, we flip a card, and I have a deck, and it is each season is a suit of cards. So there's 13 cards in this the hearts, and the turn starts by playing a card.
Okay.
You then adjust any it calls them dice, and I think what I'm going to try to do to represent that is I'm going to use a turn order. And right now, the only thing that's going to be on there is the world event, which that's going to be a D8 plus 3, so it's going to be at 9. And then you adjust the dice. So after you play the card, like the first turn, the world event clock ticks down one. But if you have any project that takes takes multiple weeks, those would tick down at that stage 2. Then third one, you take an action, and you can do 3 things as an action. You can discover something new, you can hold a discussion, or you can start a project. Discovering something new is, hey, I'm going to look in this area and I find insert thing. Okay. you might find a cave. You might find a whatever, new metal to work with, new ore to work with. You might find a ruin. Anything like that is something that you would discover. Holding a discussion would be, we're not supposed to technically talk. Like we're going to talk, like when we're talking in the game, it's going to be more of what are the consequences of whoever's turn's decision it will be. If we want to hold a discussion, that'll be like, hey, I've got this idea of this, whatever's happening. Should we be doing this? Or do we want to commit resources to this?
Okay.
And then
Okay.
the last thing is start a project. And depending on how complicated the project, it can be anywhere from 1 week to 6 weeks. And there's each of the cards flipped sometimes it can finish a project early, sometimes it complicates a project, sometimes it makes a project just fail. Like there's all kinds of interesting things that can happen there. So what we'll do is I'll go first, and then we'll kind of roll it from there.
Sounds good.
And, hang on one second. My headset's dying on me, so I'm just going to turn it off and go from my computer mic. Hang on a sec.
Was discover, hold a discussion, and what was the other thing, Thorn?
Start a project.
Yep. Start a
Thank you.
project.
Yeah, and
Start a project.
you do one of those three as an action.
Yep, I'm just taking notes here.
All right. So, first thing we do is we flip over a card, and I flipped over the Ace of Spring.
Hey, can I ask a quick question though?
Sure.
This discover, you mentioned you gave a quick example of discovering different metal to work with. Do
Sure.
we come up with what metal it is, or does
Whoever.
the
Well,
cards?
again, this is one of those things where you're going to come up with something and it be reasonably vague until you either like you say you find a weird metal, for instance.
Okay.
And then as maybe a project might be of, well, let's see what we can do with this weird metal.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
it's and that's how this game kind of progresses is, oh, we found this thing. Well, we need to work on it and find out the properties of it. And oh, hey, it's really good for building swords. I don't know. And you kind of progress down that sort of path.
I see what you're doing there.
Okay. So for the first card I drew was the Ace of Spring. And the Ace of Spring says, what group has the highest status in the community? What must people do to gain inclusion in this group? Or are there distinct family units in the community? If so, what family structures are common? This is a little bit like this is an expedition. I'm going to say that the highest status in the community is the captain, who I'm giving him a name right now. He's going to be John Haley, Captain John Haley. I'm probably going to need to take notes about this, but he's the highest status in the community. He's the captain and leader of the expedition, and the group that is kind of his group, I would say, is the officers. And what people would have to do to gain inclusion into that group would be they would have to show a lot of leadership and like command of other sailors, adventurers, whatnot, in order to be looked at with favor in that group and potentially join that group.
Okay.
And next we tick down the world clock, or we tick down the events, so that goes down to 8. And then I'm going to start a project. Because we just landed like a boat here, I am going to freehand. Let's get that brown. I'm going to start trying to build a fort. And we see that there's like trees and whatnot here. So I'm going to draw this very You're gonna love the MS Paint of this game. But so I'm gonna add a project. Oh, wrong button. Yeah.
Now that's just to scale, right?
No. Like it doesn't, like a lot of this stuff is not to scale. So I'm gonna enter fort construction. And I'm going to say this is going to be a fairly big task, so I'm going to say it's going to take 6 weeks.
Now, does the person that's creating the project get to say how long it's gonna take, or is that a
Yes.
communal thing?
I'm going to say for the most part, I'm going to say that it's going to be the person who does the project, but
Okay.
they're like, I'm going to say like if you're trying to do like make weapons, for instance, but we already have like a smithery built, we have a forge built, and I'm going to say it would cut down the time to make weapons if you have other things that help you make weapons, for instance. Okay, so Thorn,
Okay.
let you go ahead and go next. Understood.
So, you'll draw a card for me, and then you'll tell me what it does, and then I get to pick, or you'll tell me what the basis of the card is, and then I decide the events going forward with that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, 7 of Hearts. It says, where does everybody sleep? Who is unhappy with this arrangement and why? Or, what natural predators roam this area, and are you safe?
Ooh, I like this.
Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the who likes the sleeping arrangements, because we are on an expedition and we just kind of landed here, and we're in the process of building a fort. So I'm going to go with the predators, and we're going to go with, since we're on the jungle side of the river, we're noticing small to medium reptilian creatures. Nothing super large, nothing larger than, like, we'll say the largest would be about the size of a cow that we have seen. But this is also just on the edges of the jungles. Everything from, like, rodent rat-sized to cow-sized, like, reptiles.
Okay.
And you said it was small to large, what?
Like reptiles.
Reptiles?
Think kind of like dinosaurs.
Alright, that's fine. I'm just taking notes because this is like, I want to see actually how well of a world is built, and so far it's doing pretty well.
And then maybe we play a game in it.
I like it.
I'm making the little gecko here the natural predators.
Sounds good. That's perfect.
And like we have the little like circles above them that red I'm going to say is scarce, blue is abundant. I'm going to mark up that we have an abundance of them.
Yep. Yeah, we have seen a lot.
Next, we're going to count down the clocks. So those go down to 7 and 5.
Okay.
And then you take your action. You can discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
I'm going to discover something. Collecting wood and stuff and venturing on the edges of the jungle has found Um, we'll go with an ore. I like the idea of an ore. Kind of a glowing white ore.
I'm going to use a lot of anything that I can get that's like, I don't want to say assets, but I'm just like, I hate drawing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it looks like, oh, MS Paint, like.
I respect that.
And between sessions, because this is going to take a couple sessions to get this all the way done, we can update the map with cooler assets. We can make it look a little more professional.
Yeah, well, build the map as we're building the
I'm
map.
using this guy to signify ore.
Yep.
And where exactly did you find it? Is it closer to the beach? Is it closer towards the plateau? Is it on the edge? Is it deep in the jungle?
It's along the riverbanks leading into the jungle.
So down right there.
Yep.
And is it like super abundant? Is it like all over the place sort of thing? Or is it
I wouldn't say all over the place, but not scarce. Like
so
every 100 feet or so, there's a decent sized chunk.
okay, so I'm gonna say that it's not abundant, but so it's
So you
in
would
the
call
middle.
it a medium
Like,
rarity?
yeah.
Plentiful? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm basically using a three tier scale here. Either a lot of it, there's a little of it, or it's just right.
Scarce, medium, or plentiful.
Yeah.
I'll call it a medium.
Yeah. Okay. And anything that can the discovering of the new white ore.
Is it white or glowing?
He said glowing white.
Like a glowing white.
Okay, glowing white. I gotta find my actual notebook. Like, we got a lot more notes on this than I was anticipating.
All right.
All right.
Kyle, you're up.
All right, man. Draw me a
Your
card.
card is the 6 of hearts.
6 of hearts.
It says, are there children in the community? If there are, what are their role in the community? Or how old are the eldest members of the community? What unique needs do they have?
Ooh. Now, is this referencing the community, like
The of the expedition, I would say.
Okay. Honestly, I'm kind of a little unpopular. The eldest members of the community are gonna kind of be extremely needy, extremely like you need to do everything for them. Like
Well, who are they?
Oh, the elders. They're just gonna be.
Yeah, are they officers? Are they, are they old like sailors? What like who is the old people, I guess is what I'm asking. Is it a mixture?
Let's say it's gonna be the first generation of the people that landed here. So we'll say what we're playing as is currently the second generation of people.
No, these guys just landed here. There's been no one here before them.
Oh, okay. So then I don't know. We'll call it. I don't honestly know. Well, what would you guys do?
Well, here's what I'm asking you, Kyle. If you want to make it like the old members, all I'm asking is are they the like old sailors? Are the old people? Is it like some of the officers are kind of old people? Because you pick either or. You either talk about who the children are in the community and what their role is, which in this situation I kind of would think that would be more like the cabin boys. Versus if you want to talk the eldest members of the community, that would be, in my opinion, it would probably be the whoever, like it'd probably be like some of the officers. There might be some old like sailors You know what I mean? But
Actually, let's totally switch this up and just go with the children, and they're
Sure.
gonna be the gatherers of like standard wood, berries, stuff that kids can go out and gather in safe areas around the village.
all right, that's their role. All right, they're
Gophers, I
the
like it.
Gophers. Yeah. Next, we tick down the clocks. And then you get to discover something, hold a discussion, or start a project.
Uh, let's hold a discussion.
Okay, what are we discussing?
Upgrades to the fort. Let's make battle embankments also on it.
Okay, well, okay, so the way this kind of works is you either make a statement and then everyone else gets a chance to respond, or you ask a question and everyone will respond and you kind of get the last say. So what is your statement or question?
I would like to upgrade the fort with battle embankments.
I believe at this time, while that would be a valuable project going forward, we need to focus on simple building of a fort so that we have a roof over our heads and a wall to keep us safe at night. It may not be the most popular opinion, but we need to start with the basics before we make embankments and out towers and the more complex structures that we will need for a uh, full castle, essentially.
I'll
Go ahead.
split the difference and say I agree with both of you. But after the young have finished their daily duties of gathering wood and berries, we can have them starting on I can't think of the name of the poles, but basically sharpening poles to make like spiked fortifications to put around the camp to prevent some of the larger animals from getting in.
Okay.
No, you said I get this last say.
You said a statement, so you don't get to.
Okay.
If you ask a question, you do get to. That's one of those funny little tricks of this game. Okay, so then it's back to me now, right? I have the Eight of Hearts.
Wait, wait. So what became of that discussion? Are we going to decide
That
to
was
do one
discussion.
of? I,
Like we're not like it's this is one of those weird things where we're through the game. The only time we're allowed to like communicate back and forth with something is through a discussion. It because if we decide, oh hey, yeah, it's a terrible idea, through our discussion to build extra fortifications, then everyone knows that going forward. But you basically said, hey, we definitely need to make these extra fortifications, and I kind of did the power counterpoint and this and that. Next turn, one of us has, we can start on extra fortifications. It'll be another project. Okay, I got the Eight of Hearts. It says an old piece of machinery is discovered, broken, but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be useful for? Or an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How can the community destroy it? Ooh. What sort of machinery would we find in a place like this? I'm gonna say we find washed up on the shore, um, kind of over this area, we find it looks like some sort of ship. It's not very large as compared to our sailing ship that we had, but it appears to have some type of unique engine that we have never seen before. So I'll call this the special boat. The sunken boat is what I'll call it.
Okay.
And it has washed up on shore. So then tick down the clocks. And then I am going to, since that just kind of, we just discovered that, I'm going to start a project to find out, like, I'm going to have some of the smarter people, I want to say officers, are going to go and try to figure out what caused what this is and how it works. And I'm going to say that takes 4 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. Thorn, you're up. You've got the 4 of hearts.
Okay.
What is a important and basic tool, or what is important and basic tools does the community lack? Or where are you storing your food? Why is this a risky place to store things?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with, since we're still in the process of building the fort, we're storing all of our food on the ship currently. Wait, did we shipwreck or do we still have the ship?
We still have the ship.
Okay.
I didn't draw. Well, let me see if I can find a dumb art.
So yeah, we're currently storing all of our food on the ship, and why that's an issue is the inhabitants of the jungle have started to creep out onto the beach smelling the food.
So, because we've been storing it on the ship, it's been attracting like birds and other animals.
Yep. Some of the other
To the
inhabitants of the island. Yep, to the ship.
Okay. That could be a problem for sure. Next, we count down the clocks. 4, 2, 3. And you can discover something, hold a discussion, or start a project. What do you want to do?
I want to start a project. I want to start refining and working with that new ore that we found. And I'm gonna guess that it's gonna take probably about 5 weeks to figure out all of the properties to make it usable.
The only problem about, like, you can be testing it. I would say that if you want to refine it, we'd have to build some sort of forge.
Gotcha.
That would be another project.
Which would be another project.
Since I want to start the refining process, I would start the project of building the forge.
Okay.
And building the forge would probably take about 3 weeks. because that's just rocks and really hot fire.
Right. Okay. And where are you placing the forge? Are you like, I have loosely that we're building the fort here. Is that going to be inside the fort? Is it going to be outside the fort?
That would probably be on the outside of the fort, like right next to basically setting up a blacksmithing shop, starting with the forge and then working my way out.
Okay. Would you I'm just going to throw this out there. Would you want to put it kind of over near the broken ship so that once you get it up and running, we could potentially just use that to make stuff to help with that? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
probably
Make the
do a little
forge
bit of
like
wrong
here.
here.
like here,
Yeah, I was just trying to ping there. Like right here.
like right in between the fortress and the ship.
That makes sense.
Like I'm gonna say this is going to be roughly what the fort is, and then we're gonna build the forge
Probably here then.
kind of over here.
Yep.
Hey, but this I this is definitely not to scale.
Oh yeah, I'm again. Scale is something we work on post.
True.
I'm gonna change the color though. Make it red.
So
It's hot.
I found an actual notebook. So under your discoveries, you found a broken ship, and what were you trying to do with it?
I was trying to repair
Okay.
it. I don't want to say maybe not repair it. I want to know because it's got some sort of it doesn't have sails. It has some sort of propulsion. We don't know how what sort of propulsion it has.
Okay. So I'm gonna put down broken ship, investigate propulsion.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down broken ship. That's what we're doing for investigating propulsion.
All right. Well,
Okay,
no, I'm just still keeping notes. So.
you're fine. You're up, Kyle.
All right. Draw a card for me there, bud.
3 of hearts. Someone new arrives. Who? Or 2 of the community's younger member get into a fight. What provoked them?
Can you describe or we're gonna say a group of people roughly with a ship roughly about the same as your broken ship arrive. They are spotted out on the just off the bay out here. And it
Okay,
has a
so
big description of the broken strip.
okay. Do they approach or do they just kind of scoot by and survey the scene?
They come on and they come in a I'm gonna do a quick freehand and get rid of it later. They come in through and do a swoop by, just a quick visual of what's going on.
And I'm gonna say the other question I'm gonna have is, do we recognize the flags they're flying? Do we recognize anything of
Only thing that is recognized is that there is no sails, and the boat is, as it gets closer to pretty close to where the broken boat is, the people doing the research get a pretty decent view, and it is the same kind of boat that they're currently investigating,
okay.
implying that there are others somewhere else on the world in the water.
That technology.
Yes.
Okay, so next we count everything down. Our construction's almost done. Okay, and then do you want to discover something, hold discussion, or start a project?
I'm gonna start a project. And I'm going to gonna go with Thorne's idea of having the children, once they're done doing the gathering of the wood, to sharpen some sticks and try to build a perimeter, primitive wall.
I
Like,
would say that's part of the fort construction. Like the basic wall is part of the basic the
I'm
fort construction.
I was gonna,
If you want to make
I,
battlements, that's something a little more complex.
I was gonna say make perimeters around the broken ship investigation area and the forge construction area, just so the people can work without having a thing. I was gonna put 3 weeks on that.
Okay, so I'm gonna say extended battlements.
That's kind of
And
what I was thinking. I threw it in staff chat.
okay, yeah, I got that.
Yeah, but like
Um,
those things around the temporary projects to give some security.
sure.
So I was gonna put 3 weeks on that.
Okay, I put extended battlements, or
Temporary
you want to
battlements.
call them mobile battlements, maybe?
There you go. Mobile temporary battlements. There you go.
I'm just gonna call them mobile battlements. If I can spell. Three. Okay. And I know we've got some stuff to do. I I wanted to play a little more, but I know Thorn, you've got some stuff going on tonight.
I will be getting a phone call here shortly. Having to step away. So I don't know if we would get a full round in. We might if it's a quick round, but
I think we're picking up pace. But do you want to try to do one more round
we can give it a shot.
and cut it?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so I'm up now, right?
Yep.
I drew the King of Hearts. Um, the king says a young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done? Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna go with the old man. Like, as much as I want to have a young boy like digging and find something, I really want like I love the idea of an old man confessing to like crimes. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give this guy a name. I need a name for this guy. Old Jimmy. He's one of the seasoned sailors. That he basically through one night they broke into the captain's the wine, and he got a little tipsy and revealed to the other crew members that there was a time where he had to fight the rest of his crew during a mutiny, and he stuck by the captain and killed all of the men that he worked with, except for the few officers, and they rewarded him by giving him a senior post on a ship, which made him proud, but at the same time he was horrified that he had killed all of his fellow sailors, and he admits this to them in a bit of a drunken, you know,
Yeah.
buy thing.
Divulgence.
Yeah. So that's what happens with him.
Okay.
Next we get countdown stuff to 0. All right, fort construction's done.
Cool.
Because fort construction is done, basically whenever your timer reaches 0, you get to describe what you built with that project or how that project went. I'm going to say the fort consists of half a dozen buildings. They were very well organized in this construction and greenery and things of that nature. And the consequence kind of them building all this fort is that a chunk of this jungle, and I'll just make a little drawing here. Like this chunk of the jungle is just like broken stumps and everything from all the construction. Like we deforested a nice chunk of the jungle.
Oh yeah.
And in the process, though, they built half a dozen buildings. They built latrines. They built a wall with a gate going out the north, a gate going towards the ship, and they feel really good about how everything's been going so far. And then I get to take an action. I'm going to discover something. As one of the young kids that are going down the beach gets more towards this area where the swamp starts, and as they're doing that, he finds what looks like a body, but it's not like decomposed. It's like fully intact. And the guy is wearing plate armor. The guy looks like he's just asleep and is wearing this bright plate armor, and nobody knows what he is. He goes running back, and they bring a small party and bring this body back, and they don't know what to do with it because it looks like this guy, they even think he might have shallow breathing. They don't know what he's doing exactly. They think he's in some sort of like stasis or something they don't fully understand, under some sort of sleeping curse. And they found him down here on the edge of the bog. I'll draw something up for it. That'll be the end of my turn.
Okay.
Next to you, Thorn, is the 2 of hearts. There's a large body of water on the map. Where is it? What does it look like? Or there's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it, and why was it abandoned?
We're going to go with a giant man-made structure. And we're going to play off of the deforestation of the jungle right here. And we're going to find a large ruin. No sign of life, but clearly it was man-made, and we're going to put it like right here.
So you found this ruin because of the deforestation?
Because of the deforestation. Because
Where is it exactly?
right in here. because with the little extra bit of jungle that was out in front, you couldn't really see that far back into the jungle. But after clearing that out, you could start to see the outlines of a very large, like pyramid-esque, almost like think like an
Think
Aztec
Aztec?
yeah, like an Aztec temple almost.
Okay.
And we ventured in and took a look at it.
Okay. Um. So then we tick down the world clocks. That world event's gonna happen. Uh, the broken ship and the forge. You want to go ahead with building the forge first? What does the forge kind of look like?
The forge is a mostly wooden building, except for the back wall, the whole wall. We're gonna go with it's a 20-foot wide by 30-foot deep building. The 20-foot wide wall at the back is all stone, and the wall is actually the forge. So it's a very deep wall, all stone. Opens up into a whole row. The whole length of the wall is forging area. Along the side walls are benches and cooling barrels for any sort of metal working and stuff like that. Very simple. Actually, there's not even so much walls on the outsides. It's more of like a pole barn-esque with the benches and stuffs going along the edges with the brick wall on the back.
Is it kind of like there's a brick wall and then there's like a covering over it?
Yep.
And it's just like posts with benches?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
That's kind of what I'm envisioning too.
Yeah, and the forge is just, like I said, massive across the back. So you can have, like, probably, I said it's 20 foot. So 4 actual, the back wall is actually 4, like, forge areas. So you could have 4 people smelting ores along the back wall.
Okay. I have the broken ship, so as they have kind of disassembled bits and pieces of this broken ship, they realize that it is there is a furnace, there is a boiler, and it appears to be run on steam. And the pressurized of the steam pushes a piston that turns a wheel, and there's a weird it looks like a weird fan on the back of this boat that once they figure out, oh hey, this bit here goes here, they're actually able to get the steam engine up and running for at least a very short period of time. And they after they do all that, they realize the main reason that this ship isn't quote unquote functional is because there's a big gash, like it hit a reef or a rock or something, and the ship actually sunk and was pushed around because of that. But the rest of the steam engine in there is intact, and they now understand how to work it. They're
So,
I don't want to say that they know how to build it, but they know how to work it. And they understand the different individual parts if they want to try to build it. Okay, and then Thorn, you get to take an action. You can discover something, hold a discussion, or start a project.
This would be the project of starting to work with the new ore that we have found.
Okay. So you're going to you're going to refine the ore.
Start refining the ore, and seeing what we can basically use it for.
Okay. And
Or
how many weeks do you think that'll take?
It'd probably take about, I would say, gathering the ore, figuring out the process of refining it, anything extra they need to do. Probably take right around 5 weeks.
5 weeks. That seems reasonable. Okay. Kyle, you are up.
all right, man.
You have the 5 of hearts. There is a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what?
We're gonna tackle the legend.
Okay. What's the legend of this place?
Upon them mining the ore, now that they're mining it for refining, they dig up a tablet which they try to roughly translate, and it talks of a great water elemental on the big plateau, or a big elemental on the big plateau, the guardian of the plateau. Which, when they go to investigate, they will find that it's a water elemental of the lake. Good.
Okay. I'm seeing if I can find something.
There you go.
Water elemental legend. There you go. And we next tick down. Oh, we got some zeros finally. Oh boy. I need to roll a d6. 4. As the you guys have seen one ship do a sail by. As you guys have eyes on the water to the east, a someone spots a sail on the horizon, and they spot another one and another one, and then they see somewhere between 10 and 12 ships. They're clumped up and so far away it's hard to get a good number, but they're not sailing directly towards you. They seem to be heading in a northwest direction, more this direction, and looks like this fleet of ships is sailing somewhere to the north of the the fort and the landing here. And one of the sailors that has a spyglass relays down that it's a rival nation, someone that they haven't been at war with, but they've been fighting with off and on for years, and it seems they're trying to grab a piece of this new world. In addition, and while they have sighted us and spotted the expedition of Captain John Haley, it seems they are trying to land somewhere to the north of our location. You don't know what that means or what that potentially can do. 7, so 6, so that would be 9. World event goes back to 9. The mobile battlements. What do the mobile battlements look like?
All right. Think, like the big log with a bunch of X spikes that you can just roll around that are sharp on both sides. That's why they're mobile battlements that you can put around your temporary projects, and you always have them, and they're great.
All right.
I don't have a picture. I
Yeah,
will.
that's fine. I just drew a couple circles there,
There you go.
ovals.
And they can be moved, wherever is needed. So
All right.
I'm gonna say there was a total of 20 of them made so that you can make perimeters.
Okay. And you can discover something, hold a discussion, or start a project.
Um, let's discover something.
All right. What are you going to discover?
Um, we're setting this in D&D's campaign, right?
Yeah, this is a D&D setting. So imagine like magical sort of medieval, but
Okay.
there is a little bit of technological advancement as we've kind of alluded to.
Right. So then over by the volcanoes over here is going to be a settlement of free tea.
All right, and we discover the settlement. Okay.
Yeah,
Is
just it's a small settlement, it's about the size of ours currently, and it's just they're going about their everyday life. We found it on a scouting mission and
okay.
got eyes of it, like, from afar. We
Um
have not made contact yet.
okay. We just know they're there.
Yep.
And do they have like the scouts do they have battlements or is it just kind of like a little village?
I mean, it's for what they could see from where they got was like they got a fort like us. And that's about it.
Okay. Um well, we've got 4 more cards left for spring if you guys want to try and finish it up.
I just got the message that she's wrapping up, so I've got to head out.
All right. Well, we'll there and beginning of next week we will finish off spring and see what else we can build and go about. And I'll make a note that it's my turn.
Starting at the top of the order.
Yep, it's me Thorn, me Thorn Kyle. So that should be interesting. And I mean, we've already got like we found a ruin. Like there's
This
a
this is a great start. Like I won't lie, I'm probably gonna use this for I do a lot of homebrew campaigns, so this is a really good way to just get a general idea of here's a setting and here's some leads. You could utilize them. You can't if you want. That's why we're leaving everything real vague. It's kind of nice.
And the
the
thing
thing I
is
like.
you can build out this world, but then when you run the campaign, you could set the campaign 100 years into the future.
Sure.
Exactly.
The other thing that I like about this is that, say for instance, you want to see some type of monster, like you want to fight a water elemental. Well, Kyle just put a elemental in a location here that would easily be like, oh hey, yeah, you need to go kill this legendary water elemental that's up in the lake. It's suddenly like you're able to place things in as a player that say, yeah, I want to kill I want to kill blink dogs, or I want to kill displacer beasts. Those could easily fit in the setting wherever you want.
True.
And we've got a lot of things that are like the knight. I have no idea who this knight is. By next week, I might have an idea who he is, or an idea of a way to fix him. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he could tell us more about this land. Maybe he's been asleep for 1,000 years. I don't know. Like, and that's what I love about this sort of thing.
Yeah. And just this, like, boom, you found another random species of people in a village doing the same shit you are. I love that. Like, that you can just pick this. Now,
Absolutely.
now let me ask you this real quick.
Sure.
Might be a bit of a spoiler, but are the other seasons gonna have different questions, or are, like, just you do 4 different sets of these same questions?
The summer and the way this is kind of set up is like the spring and the summer tend to give you a lot of opportunities to get projects done, to encourage exploration, to get stuff done. Once autumn and winter come around, that's where things start, like, I don't want to say failing, but it's the old winter is coming. And in this setting, because we have a bit more of a tropical setting, it might be more of a monsoon season is coming. And the basically the way this game ends is that once you're in winter, as soon as the king of winter is drawn, it's just the frost shepherds arrive, the game is over. Nothing else can
Ooh,
happen. No one else can make any more projects. None of the other timers tick down. It's
that's it.
That's it. And that's the end of the year that you were able to build stuff and find things. So that's the culmination of this game, essentially.
Cool.
But again, this has been fun.
It really has.
Yeah. So same bat time, same bat channel next week, guys.
Yes, definitely. So we're gonna
Count on it.
wrap this up. Wrapping up in a pretty good spot. As always, if you're an audio listener, head over to Twitch, twitch.tv/dragonheads pod. Hit that follow button. We'll give you a shout out on the show. If you're feeling generous, hit the subscribe button. You can do it for free with Amazon Prime. You get 1 free sub a month. We do appreciate it. It's going to help us get that camera for Kyle. But you can find the show over on Twitter at DragonHeads2 and email the show at dragonheads216@gmail.com. Come and join us in the Discord. We've got the Discord all set up, discord.me/dragonheads. You can tell us what you're thinking about each of the episodes. Give us suggestions, ideas. Bring up anything that you might want to hear us talk about. We'll gladly have you come in and chat with us. And then, like I said, follow us over on Twitch at twitch.tv/dragonheadspod. We record live Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Our intro music is A Self-Induced Psychosis by my buddy, Mr. Kyle Wynn. And that's it for the show tonight, guys. Adventurers, get out there and slay some dragons.
Good luck, adventurers.
See y'all next week.